Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, and we are here, and I actually want to do a little bit of a comparison video today. So, something along the lines of who is the actual best unit on Global Dokkan. I feel like when this guy dropped, it was just widely assumed, widely considered that he is the best, and if you disagree, then you're wrong. And I don't think that you can just look at his passive and his leader skill and his links and just say, oh, yep, he's the best. I think that there's a lot more to it than that. So there's this other unit that people were very quick to forget. And not you, you're very good, but you guys. Caulifla and Kale, man, they are still ridiculously powerful. For like a number of reasons, right? I mean, yes, they're passive, but like we look at their leader skill, we look at what they do on their super attack. They're really good. And what I want to do is I want to do an actual comparison, and I want to actually break down, everything that I can think to break down, and really think about who is the #1 LR on Dokkan, in Dokkan, specifically Global Dokkan, right? Now, I do want to make a disclaimer. This is all my opinion, right? I mean, I'm looking at it in a completely objective role here. So, like, obviously, like, is STR UI Goku more hype? Is he a cooler character? 1000% yes. In my opinion, he is. Now, if you're a mega Kale and Caulifla fan, I understand. That's your thing, right? I just find this... He's probably my favorite unit in the whole entire, entirety of Dragon Ball, right? Like he's so uber powerful. Just everything he does is just so cool, right? So what I want to do, let's kind of break down these two cards. We're kind of going to go piece by piece here, and this is going to be a long video. So just kind of buckle up, grab your popcorn, grab whatever you got to grab, and just kind of hang back and listen. So let's start with both of their leader skills. So UI Goku, Realm of Gods category, Key 4 and 130% to stats, or Super STR type, Key 4 and 100% to stats. You see that, and you're probably like, well, Flex, how could you even compare? I mean, he's the Realm of Gods leader. The Realm of Gods is the best team in the game, and when the Blue Fusions get here, yeah, it probably will be the best team in the game. Well, let's look at Kale and Caulifla, man. So, Join Forces category, Key 4, 130% to stats, or Super AGL type, Key 4 and 100% to stats. This team, this Joint Forces team, is ridiculously strong. So you've got the likes of LR, Kale, and Caulifla. You've got the 3-year LR fusions who are still crazy powerful. You've got Goku and Frieza. You've got all of these units on here, and that's like literally just to name a few, right? That are just ridiculously powerful. So can I just, and then of course we know how ridiculous Super AGL is, right? So can I just out and out say Realm of Gods and Super STR is better than Kale and Caulifla's leader skill? No, I can't. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call this one a wash. I'm going to call them equal, or it's too close to call. Because I think when Joint Forces gets a true category leader, that might be considered the best team in the game. I mean, I know the Blue Fusions are ridiculous, so don't get me wrong. I think that it's very close, though. But, keep in mind, it took, like, artificial life forms a very long time to get a true category leader. And on a 130% leader skill, because there's so many, like, LRs and just, like, top-tier heavy hitters on this team, you can get them up over 500,000 HP. At 130% leader skill. So just imagine, even if they get a 150% leader skill, what they're going to be looking like, that team in general. So I'm going to go ahead and call that equal. So let's kind of look at their super attack. We'll start with Kale and Caulifla. Raises defense and causes colossal damage to the enemy, and then they do the same thing except for Mega Colossal on their 18 key. And then we look at UI Goku. He is disabling enemies' guard and causes Colossal and Mega Colossal. I think easily this goes to Kale and Caulifla. Disabling guard is useful to a degree, but most of the time, I mean, unless you're up against an AGL opponent, it's irrelevant. He literally does nothing additional. I almost consider it as though he does nothing extra on his super attack, honestly. Like, how often you get that to sort of proc. I mean, yeah, there are some instances on Super Battle Road and, certain Dokkan events and stuff, but Mostly that's irrelevant. Like I said, I basically consider him doing nothing additional on his super attack, so I got to give that one to Kale and Caulifla. So now, this is where the sort of interesting part starts. So, their passive skills. Let's start with UI Goku. Attack and defense 77%, great chance of evading enemies' attack for 7 turns from the start of battle, high chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, starting from the 8th turn, plus an additional key 1 in attack and defense 11%, up to 77%, and 7 key with each attack evaded. So, what does this mean? So, altogether, he's going to be getting a passive of, when you multiply all of that together when he's fully built up, I believe it's something along the lines of like 213.6 or something like that percent. It's very high. For an LR, that's ridiculously high. And then if we look at, let's go back, and then let's go ahead and look at Kale and Caulifla. So, let's go even further together. Attack and defense 66%, launches an additional normal attack. Key 1 up to key 6, and chance of evading enemies' attack up to 6%, up to 66% with each attack performed. And then they're getting attack plus 10% per Universe 6 joined forces or Pure Saiyan's category ally on the team. Launches an additional super attack when there is a Universal Survival Saga or Pure Saiyan's category enemy. So what does this mean? So at their absolute maximum, they are going to have attack and defense 66%, key 6, a 66% chance to evade attacks, and they're also getting an additional attack plus 10% per Universe 6 joined forces or Pure Saiyan's category ally. So that, I think, on the top end would make them a little bit more powerful. So just to clarify here, what does this mean? That means that they can get up to 30% additional attack per ally. That meets all of those categories. Now, there are basically only a few other units in the game that do this, and it's this units TUR and SSR. Those are the ones that do it. So yeah, being able to get that full additional, 210% that they could potentially get is impossible at this point. But in the future, it could be. You can still get them, let's just say, if you were a Mega Whale and you had all of them, you could realistically, get them an additional like 150% attack or something along the lines. You could, you run Int Ribrianne. You can run like, there are a lot of units that meet 2 of those categories that will be giving them 20% attack. So if we look at that, like, yeah, maybe it's a little more difficult to get, but on the high end, LR, Kale, and Caulifla are going to be more powerful. I mean, I know people don't want to see that and say that, but at the absolute max of their potential, they are going to be more powerful. Now, in a more realistic sense, yeah, it's going to be UI Goku all day. Because getting his full passive to activate is very easy, where theirs is very difficult. And then this launches an additional super attack when there's a Universal Survival Saga or Pure Saiyan's enemy. That means that at their maximum, they can do 4 super attacks and 5 attacks. So they launch their original super attack, and then they get that guaranteed additional attack. And then because that there are 2 categories that proc their additional super attack, they can get 2 more supers, and then with the hidden potential system, they can get 1 more additional super attack. So they're very, very crazy, right? They can super attack 4 times in a turn, and of course, they're stacking defense every single time they do this. So defensively, they're just absolutely insane. And not to mention, not that they really even need it at this point, but they have a 66% chance to dodge. And that's with each attack performed up to 6. So as I just said, they could potentially get 5 attacks in a turn. So they can have their full passive built up in 2 turns is realistic. After 2 turns, their full passive should be built up, at least that part of their passive should be fully built up. And the same thing with UI Goku. I think if you give it 2 turns, like, they're going to be fully built up in terms of that, right? So on in the very, very beginning of battles, I think it's pretty obvious that UI Goku is going to be stronger. But LR Kale and Caulifla, man, they are no joke. I feel like I needed to remind everyone like how crazy that freaking passive is. It's redonkulous. And again, we are comparing them at 55% for the purposes of this video. Obviously, rainbow status, that might, you know, prove to be a little different because remember, they can't crit at 55%, which can be a problem, right? Especially in something like Super Battle Road, but we'll go over that in a minute. Okay, so I know that this is already running long, so guys, like I said, just kind of buckle up here. So links for LR Kale and Caulifla: Super Saiyan, Battlefield Diva, Warriors of Universe 6, TOP, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. And then if we kind of go over to LR UI, so his links: Kamehameha, Prepared for Battle, Godly Power, Over in a Flash, Tournament of Power, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. So in terms of link skills, I think it's kind of tough because UI Goku does not have Super Saiyan, which does kind of hold him back on a lot of his teams. Think of like running him on Goku's family team. You're going to have to build some units around him, right, that have godly power, right, to really bring out his full power, or at the very least Kamehameha. Kamehameha is not really that great of a link. It's just very, very common. You know, that's what it is. And Prepared for Battle is certainly a very, very common link. Over in a Flash, a little less common. And then if you look at Kale and Caulifla, you know, Battlefield Diva is not going to be real common, except, of course, on... you can get it on Universal Survival Saga. And then, of course, you can get it on the Peppy Gal's team. So I think that, like, when you look at their links, I like them both. Again, no Super Saiyan for this Goku does hold him back. He does monster attack link and godly power. It's just, you know, you're really only going to activate it on Realm of Gods. And then, of course, you know, like, yes, you'll activate it on Universal Survival Saga as well. But Super Saiyan is just a little more common with LR Kale and Caulifla. So in terms of links, again, you guys can disagree if you want. I think maybe I'd give a slight, only just a ever so slight edge to UI Goku. Because if you look at Kale and Caulifla, let's take a look at them real quick. They almost have a plethora, you know, based on how much key they get from their passive, they almost have too many key links. So they have Prepared for Battle, which is sick, right? They're going to fit in really well on like a Pure Saiyan's team or whatever. They have TOP, 3 key, so they're obviously going to activate that on USS, and Warriors of Universe 6 key 2, and Battlefield Diva. So, I mean, there's just like, they have, like I said, almost too many key links. So, I do like UI Goku. It's just going to be able to, it's going to afford him the ability to hit a little bit harder, even though that primary attack link is going to be tougher for him to activate. So, links, I mean, I would call it very, very close, but I would give the slight edge to UI Goku. So, we've been over the cards except for their categories. Now, categories, I think I would probably just call this a wash. Like, if you look at, like, let's just start with Kale and Caulifla. We went over Join Forces and how freaking insanely crazy, broken, busted, ridiculous it is, right? I mean, look at all these top... Oh, yeah. How could I forget about LR Gohan and Goten, man? I mean, just these crazy, insane units, right, that are on there. You do have, you know, your Yamcha and Poires, to be sure. But, like, dude, there's so many crazy units on this team. So I really like them there. Pure Saiyans, Universal Survival Saga, they're both going to share UI Goku and LR Kale and Caulifla. You've got them on full power, which is a very strong team, and especially with the addition of Omega Shenron. If you have Omega Shenron, he's a must-run, providing attack and ki, and then, of course, that monstrous attack reduction with his enemies. But I really, really like full power. And then Peppy Gal's is very niche, but it's still solid. A lot of these units are absolutely busted. Like, Int Ribrianne is busted. Like, she's crazy. She lowers attack and defense, gives herself attack and defense, and gives allies attack and defense. Like, she is redonkulous. You got Launch, who's really good, and Oceanus, who's really good. They haven't even awakened yet. On Global, these two haven't awakened yet. So Peppy Gal's is going to be a really, really good spot for them, of course, especially if you link them up with some of these Kale and Caulifla units. And then, of course, if you have their TUR and SSR, right? So in terms of teams, Super Saiyan 2 is ridiculous as well. If you look at just the plethora of, you know, broken units on here. You've got all the transforming Gokus and Vegetas. You, of course, have the STR Maj Vegeta. and then the AGL SS2 Goku, and then of course their Dokkan Fest counterparts as well. You've got AGL LR Gohan and the INT LR Gohan on that team. They're really, really good category, right? Super Saiyan 2 is really good. And then if we look at UI Goku, I think that obviously like his best team to me is probably going to be this Realm of Gods team. Probably his own team, like the Realm of Gods, the Key 4 130. You know, providing Key 4 to a unit like Beerus, I really, really like. And a lot of these other units as well. You know, I like the idea of them starting with 8 Key on a leader skill. Now, this team is a good candidate for some top tier LRs, but trust me, they're coming. In just a couple of weeks, they will be in the game. So, but this team does need some LRs on it, just some really, really heavy hitters. So, obviously, Tech, Vegito, and then STR Gogeta are really going to complete that team, and it's going to be an absolutely ridiculous team. Yeah, LR Vegito Blue, like a Fizz Vegito Blue, oh my god, like Realm of Gods is crazy. Goku's family, of course, is, I would say, just equally as crazy as like something like Pure Saiyans. You do have a ton of options here. And most of these units are Pure Saiyans, except for the Gohans, right? And then the Gotens. So, this is obviously a really, really good category as well. And then the Kamehameha category, again, one of the more busted categories in the game. If you want to give the slight edge again to UI Goku, I'm okay with it. But I would go ahead and just call them a wash. So keep in mind, Kale and Caulifla are on 7 teams, UI Goku only on 6. And realistically, you can plop either one of these units on any teams just because of their passive skills. And they're going to be ridiculous. So, we've been over the teams, we've been over the links, we've been over the passives, the super attacks, and the leader skills. So a couple more things I want to go over. I want to go over what events I think they will be better in. So obviously, like when we look at events in Dokkan Battle, you've obviously got story events, which are kind of irrelevant. You could beat that with literally like nothing. Like you could bring one unit and a friend leader, and you can take down most story events. So that doesn't really count. Now, if you look at a Dokkan event, some are tougher than others. Like the Fizz Beerus one is not like horribly challenging, but for a Dokkan event, it's fairly challenging. Obviously, STR UI Goku and Kale and Caulifla are gonna just freaking tear that up. And then, of course, like Android 13, like that's a tougher one. But then for every one of those, you've got like 5 Dokkan events that are just horrendously easy. You've got like INT Future Gohan. He's kind of tanky, his Dokkan event. But a lot of them, I don't really consider Dokkan events, real relevant. But if we have to say Dokkan events, we'll go ahead and just call them equal. Because, again, you can tear up a Dokkan event with any single competent team in the game. Now, if we look at something like Super Battle Road, considering how easily this Goku can dodge, he's got that 70% chance to dodge, and then Kale and Caulifla, they don't get dodge until they attack. So they do get up to a 66% chance to dodge. With every attack performed, they're getting 6%. So probably by about, I don't know. In Super Battle Road, it's going to depend where you put them, of course, but I would say realistically in 3 turns, they're fully built up, and they will have that full chance to dodge. And remember, every time they attack, so it's going to depend heavily on what opponents you're facing. They could realistically be very, very strong, but so for instance, like in the full power Super Battle Road, they are not very strong. There's no units on that entire stage that meet the requirements to get their guaranteed super attacks. So, I don't know, man. Super Battle Road, I feel like LR UI Goku runs away with this one. Just that ability to dodge right off the bat, no questions asked. He just gets that great chance to evade. And he's getting attack and defense with every time he evades. So I got to give it up to LR UI Goku in terms of Super Battle Road. He's it. He wins out. Now, if we're talking about the Legendary Goku event in Infinite Dragon Ball history, I'm going to go ahead and rope into one. Or you can just, you can say any long event. So if there's ever a Legendary Vegeta event, Legendary Frieza event, whatever. I think this one, again, I think it's not even close, and it's LR Kale and Caulifla. They are absolutely indestructible. By the time you get to Tech God Goku, they've done so many super attacks and just so many attacks in general that not only is their defense stacked up to ridiculous heights. I mean, you guys have seen it. If you get them like in the Universal Survival Saga and you get them on the same rotation, well, let's just say MVP 17, who's giving 50% defense, dude, I mean, their defense, I've seen their defensive stat over 1 million, you know, and you don't ever need it to be that high. It's all extra, right? But the fact that it can get that high is crazy, absolutely crazy. So until UI Goku, they can still dodge, and they have a 66% chance to dodge, probably by about, you know, SS3 Goku, I would say. They're going to be fully built up, that part of their passive. So the way that they can stack defense on their super attack, the way that they can evade attacks, the way they can do additional super attacks, I have to give it to LR Kale and Caulifla, and I don't even think it's close. You're talking about a unit that gets stronger as the fight goes on, and getting more evasion, and then you're talking about a unit that, yes, does get stronger as the fight goes on, but he's getting less evasion. And that 20% might not seem like a lot, but, you know, he basically turns from, you know, Candy Vegito or Int UI Goku in terms of the dodging. He turns into then Blue Gogeta. It's a lot less reliable for him to get dodges. And then, of course, in that last stage against Int UI, he can get hit very, very hard, whereas LR Kale and Caulifla, they can't be touched. Even by Int UI Goku super attacks, they take double digits. Just an absolutely, they're crazy, right? So that one's not even close to me. Now, one other group of events, Easy A's. So there are a ton to go over. I have spared you guys the research, and I have done it for you. So if we look at Easy A's, I think just based on passive alone, we can go ahead and give it to STR, UI Goku. Just again, that chance to dodge in a short event just can't be paralleled. Unless you, of course, are Tech Caulifla, and you've got a 100% chance to dodge. You know, not taking damage in something like an Easy A is the best way to be able to grind up to just ridiculous heights. So this one, again, I do want to go over individual Easy A's as well, but like, I think just in general, based on passive alone, I think I'd give it to STR UI Goku. And then if we look at the actual Easy A's they're all going to be effective in, or both of these units are going to be effective in, again, I've done the research for you. So starting with STR UI, he's going to be good in the second form Frieza, the Father-Son Gallic Gun, Planet Namek Saga, the Vegeta Jr., the Janemba, SS3 Vegeta, Beerus, Kid Buu, and Full Power Frieza. For a total of 9 Easy A's you can realistically bring him into, and he's going to be very helpful to you. He's either getting type advantage or category advantage in all of those Easy A's. And then if we move on over to Kale and Caulifla, still going to be very, very good in Easy A's. Again, that ability to stack up defense very quickly, especially against some of these enemies, are just really going to be unparalleled. So they're going to be effective in the AGL Piccolo Easy A, the Family Kamehameha Easy A, the Perfect Cell, Buhan, SS3 Vegeta, they're going to be absolutely crazy in, Kid Buu, and then the Majin Vegeta and Angel SS2 Goku Easy A, which again, they're going to be absolutely crazy busted in. So that brings them to a total of 7 Easy A's you can realistically bring them into, and they're going to be very, very effective. So those are basically the units, guys. And then again, I'm trying to think of, there's really no other relevant events that I can really think of. I think one more thing that we can talk about is the animations, which I know is like, really has no bearing on how good the card is. But here's a couple of things. So number one, I think it's very obvious. LR UI Goku has the superior animations. Like, dude, look at his card art, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the best in any mobile game. I mean, honestly, like, this is the best. It doesn't get any better, you know, sorry, Dragon Ball Legends, but it does not get any better than this. Just absolutely sickening with all those explosions, the lightning, all of it. And then his super attack animations are straight out of the anime, except for, of course, he slides on the rock instead of the, you know, the key beam of Kefla. So animations, I do have to give it to UI Goku, which again doesn't really have much bearing on the card, but it does, it does make the card, quote, like more fun to use and just more enjoyable to use. And then in terms of animations, their 12 and 18 key super, Kale and Caulifla, is very cool. I do like it, but you see the 12 key super so many times. It gets a little repetitive, like a little bit too repetitive, to be honest with you, and it kind of takes away the luster of using them a little bit. Just having to see that so many times. I mean, you've seen it like in Truth's videos and other people's videos, where you either just skip through their super attacks or you fast forward them. You know what I mean? Because there's so many of them. They could potentially, again, do 4 super attacks and 5 attacks, that with that 1 additional normal. So. Kale and Caulifla, obviously very, very good. LR UI Goku, obviously very, very good. Here's the deal. This video is probably pushing, 25 minutes or 30 minutes or something. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here. And I'm going to make a part 2, the vaunted part 2, where we're actually doing a little bit of gameplay with them. I think that that's going to be the ultimate telltale of who is the better unit, because you can look at any unit and look at their passive and say, oh yeah, best unit in the game. And then you can indeed use them, and they're not. It was like when Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku came out, and everyone's just like, oh, okay, he's going to be a hard hitter. Oh, is he? Is he a hard hitter? Yeah, he's a hard hitter, all right. He hits ridiculously hard, just ridiculously hard. He's a unit for a whole nother video, but there are a lot of units where, yeah, you can pin them as the best unit in the game when you see their passive, and they can either exceed or fall short of those expectations once you actually use them. So I'm going to go ahead again and cut it right here. Slap a like if you enjoyed the video, and slap a like if you are excited for part 2 to actually see some gameplay of these guys. And of course, consider subscribing if you are new. I love you guys, and thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot to me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.